G'day everybody, it's Peps and I'm here to deliver you Tipped Outs Round 18 selections for a massive round of AFL football. Once again, I will be going hand solo as the great man, Jamie the J-Dog Wallis, has been struck down by illness. We all wish him the best and hope that he'll be back for next Tuesday's massive lace out event. Well, it's all kicking off tomorrow night, Friday, July 15, 7:50 p.m. at Marvell Stadium. Plenty of 8-point games, but none bigger than this. The Bulldogs of Western against the St Kilda Saints. Two teams hoping to get into the finals. One is falling out and one is hoping to scratch themselves back in, which we're talking about the Bulldogs. In my humble opinion, it doesn't really matter. Neither of these teams will be playing finals, but it doesn't mean we can't have a cracking round of AFL football. Let's have a look at it. In for the Dogs, and he is back. The sexy mullet and the best rig in the AFL, Bailey Smith. Buku Kamas is back. Jordan Sweet is back. Jossie Bruce, everybody. Congratulations, big boy. Back from his ACL. He's back in. And Lockie McNeil is in as well. Out. And we have got a massive out. Aaron the Astronautan, health and safety protocol. Anthony Scott, injured. Dominic Benendo, omitted. Josh Shackey, health and safety protocol. Lockie Hunter, health and safety protocol. And Robbie McComb is the medi sub. For the Saints, the general, Ben Patton is in. Cooper Sharman and Ryan Burns in. Ben Long has got the short of it and he is out. Dara Joyce has been omitted. Marcus Windhager, health and safety protocols, and Seb Ross is out as well. Ben Patton playing his 50th game and Dan Butler playing his 100th. I'm tipping he'll be getting a chairlift tomorrow night. Alrighty. Western Bulldogs have been poo this year. St Kilda have been poo in the second half of the season. So where are we going to put this one? Well, simply looking at the ins and looking at the outs, the Bulldogs have no chance of winning this one. The Saints should run away with this quite easily. The Western Bulldogs don't have a back line, and with the astronaut not there, their forward line is in a shambles. So what we're going to do is the great man, Chris Pepper, will be going for St Kilda by 5 goals. 5 goals flat. I think it could be a bit of a blowout towards the end. Jamie, the big boy, he's gone by the Dogs, and he's going by 37 points as well. So he doesn't think that the astronaut being out is going to make a massive difference. But Josh Bruce down there, if it was both Norton and Bruce in, I'd go with the Dogs. But I just think it's going to be too much for Bruce for his first game in. So that was fantastic Friday. Let's get on to Super Saturday. And we're talking about the Adelaide Crows versus the Collingwood Magpies. Adelaide over 145. Don't know why I'm speaking like this, but God, it sounds great. Lockie Murphy is in. Mitchell Hinge has been swung, and he's back in the team. And Shane McAdam is in as well. Ben Davies, the medi sub. Jackson Hately omitted. James Rao has been omitted. And let's take a seat, Matt Crouch, because you've been omitted. Will he be there at the Crows next year? I have a sneaky suspicion he won't be. Looking at the Pies, Ash Johnson in. Darcy Moore, the Lazarus of the AFL. 2 weeks ago, they were almost going to amputate his whole leg off. That's how bad the injury was. But he's come back 2 weeks later and he's in. And the fashionista Trent Bianco in as well. Isaac Quainer, health and safety protocols. Oliver Henry omitted. Interesting. He's had a cracking few weeks and has been omitted. Interesting one, that one. Taylor Adams injured and Tyler Brown, the medi sub. Ash Johnson playing his first game. Hey, good luck, young man, for your career. And I'll tell you what, the man who has the basketball background, we know him as number 10, Scott Pendlebury, the captain of captains, playing his 350th game. Now, as a 377-game superstar of the East Killer Football Club, it takes a special type of person to get to that 350 milestone. And from one 350 milestoner to the next, congratulations for joining the club. It has been an exceptional career, and there's no reason why he can't go to 400. He's playing just as good footy, and he doesn't look like he's going to be slowing down. But I tell you who will be slowing down. It will be the Adelaide Crows slowing down. I know it's at the Adelaide Oval. I just think Collingwood have too much on the line They copped a massive scare from North last week. They've got form. Bringing Darcy Moore fixes up that negativity that they had in the back line. And this could actually get a little bit ugly, in my humble opinion. This could be a 7 or 8 goaler. I'm going to go with 7 just to give Adelaide a bit of hope. 42 points. But the J-Dog is going for the Pies by 71. All right. This is the game of the round. Do not do anything. 7:25 p.m. If you can get a ticket, do it. If you can lock yourself in a room, do it. Get COVID if that means that nobody is going to be around you. Carlton Blues, Geelong Cats, 7:25 at the home of football. MCG. Stuff your state of origin, NRL. This is the game of the week. In the stock market, Liam Stocker is in. Josh Honey has unfortunately not been sweetened up and has been omitted. And Lockie O'Brien omitted as well. In for the Cats, Jake Kolajasny out. Jed Bew managed and Quinton Narkle, the Medi-sub. You've got the two best forward lines going around. Hawkins, Cameron, Curnow, Mackay. That's what this is all going to be about. It's going to be the Young Bucks versus the Old Bulls. Can the real Carlton Football Club please stand up? We had the audit last Thursday night. Melbourne failed it against the Cats. It's Carlton's turn for the audit. I think that they'll put up a better show. Geelong on the wider ground. Will be interesting to see how this one goes. Now, who am I going to go with? Looking at this, I'm simply going to say this. Carlton. Now, from a Melbourne supporter, we don't like Carlton all that much, but I'm taking off my follower's hat and I'm putting on my tipped out hat. And Pep says Carlton by the minimal 5-point margin. It is going to be a close one. The Geelong Cats, well, has Jamie picked them? I'll tell you in a moment as I refresh my screen. He has 19 points, 3 goals he's going by. So J-Dog's gone by the Cats. I'm going by the Blues. I don't really care what the margins is going to be as long as we get a cracker-dacker, a rip snorter, a ring-a-ding-dinger. Louis, if you're there, that's the type of game that we're looking for. It is going to be an absolute corker. And what is just frustrating is at the same time, 7:30 p.m. at Optus Stadium, the Dockers of Fremantle are home against the Sydney Swans, and this is going to be another Final 8 shaper. Fremantle win this, they're locking themselves into top 4, potential top 2. Swans cannot afford to lose this one if they still want to lock themselves into a Final 8 spot. Stranger things have happened. Stranger things season 4 has happened. This could be season 5. Blake Acres, the property mogul, is in. Heath Chapman is in for the Dockers. Out Ethan Hughes, Liam Henry, and Nathan Wilson. Wilson, Hughes omitted. Henry was the Medi-sub. And the love bite himself, Tom Hickey, is back. Out is Harry Cunningham, Medi-sub, and Laddams Peterov being out with an injury as well. I'm going Fremantle. They are just playing too good footy at the moment. I'm going by 4 goals, 24 points for myself. J-Dog is going by the Dockers a little bit more, 34%. The thing with the Dockers is they need to pump up the percentages as well because they're about 10% behind the Ds. But if you keep winning games and Melbourne or Geelong lose them, it doesn't really matter what your percentage is. The points over percentage. Fremantle for both of us. Rightio. We have a game at GWS Land at 1:45 p.m. Don't know why they've listed this one a little bit later. It is going to be against the Brisbane Lions at Manuka Oval. Let's have a look who's in for the big boys. Connor Uden is in. The man with one leg, Jacob Hopper, is in. And Jake Riccardi also in for the Giants. Out, Adam Kennedy injured. Callum M. Brown omitted. Lockie Whitfield injured. Phil Davis injured. Lockie Whitfield injured? I might as well just throw it admitted because he hasn't really done much over the last couple of weeks. And also saying that Isaac Cumming will be playing his 50th game. Good on you, young man. In for the Lions. They were decimated by COVID last week, and you can tell by the ins this week. Have a look at this. Callum Archie, the sneeze, is in. Daniel, I want to stop, or do I want to go? McStay is in as well. The man who looks after your front lawn, Darcy Gardner's in. Harris Andrews, Keaton Coleman, and Noah Answorth, all in for the Lions this week. Let's have a look at the outs. Carter Michael, Mr. Reverse, is out omitted. James Madden, omitted. James Tunstall, omitted. Marcus Adams is injured. Oscar McInerney, health and safety protocols. Ryan Lester, omitted. And Tom Fullerton, omitted. Plenty of big names in here. The Giants, everybody, are playing really good footy at the moment. They did have a bad one, unfortunately, against Port last week. But besides that, a lot more attacking, a lot more free-flowing. Hogan is doing really well up forward, which is really nice to see. Getting back to what he was like in his first couple of seasons with the Ds. But I just think with the Brisbane Lions, they've got too much on the line. Top four, and also with all those ins, it's going to make it really, really difficult for the Giants. So I'm going to go 3 goals. Once again, I'm going to make this 19 points for myself. The J-Dog, he's had a look at this game, looked at it in depth, and he's decided to go the Lions by 45. Geez, he's gone big. He's gone 8.5. We'll see what happens. 8.5 versus moi with 3 and a bitski. But hey, it's going to be a good one down at Marnicle Oval. It's going to be the ACT. Hopefully this will be the best thing to go into Canberra over the last number of weeks, because the Pollies are probably not showing up what they should be doing. All right, have a look at this game. North Melbourne versus Richmond, 4:35 p.m. at Marvell Stadium, the home of the North Melbourne Football Club. The big boy is in, the Rhino, Jason Horn. Francis is back. Charlie Lazaro is out. Jack Marnie, Medi Sub, is also out. In is Josh Gibkiss, Nick Vloston, Noah Bolter, the Koch is back, and Tyler Sonzi is back out. Ivan Soldo is out. The artiste, Jake Arts, is out. The guy had a bit of grief of his way of goal kicking last week. Jason Can't Stand Ya is out as well too. Morris Rioli out. Thomas Dow has also been omitted, and Tom Lynch injured as well. So, is this a danger game for Richmond? Well, you look at those ins and say, potentially not. But we know what happens when a coach gets sacked. The shackles. Lee Adams is coming in, looking after North. Richmond, not having Lynch, not having Dusty, not having Ivan Soldo. I actually think, I'm throwing this one out there, North in an upset. Yes, I'm even going to deep voice this one.
North in an upset.
I don't know why I'm picking them, but something strange has to happen this weekend. And if they show up like they did last week and do it this week at a faster deck at Marvel Stadium, Richmond don't like playing there whatsoever. Tyler Sonzi's playing his first game, and it could be an absolute shocker for the club. I'm going with North. The J-Dog, he's analysed this game as only J-Dog can, and he said, Peps, I'm going by the Tigers by 89 points. He's not holding back. He's saying this is going to be a massacre. I just think the Roos are going to jump all over the Tigers. And talking about jumping, let's jump into Sunday, July 17th. Essendon, probably one of the most informed teams going around at the moment at Marvell Stadium. Back on their home deck, 4:40 p.m. The graveyard shift versus the Suns. Gold Coast. In for Essendon, Alec Waterman, Jai Menzie, Mason Redman. No outs at this stage. Jai Menzie plays his first game. Good luck, young fella. In for the Suns, Darcy McPherson. The Rankin is back. Isaac is there. Jai Farrar and Oleg Markov. Sexy no, sexy tats. Malcolm Roses has been injured. No one knew at this stage. Well, I'm putting it this way. The big boy, Jamie the J-Dog Wallis, he has decided that Essendon are going to win this by 13 points. That's probably because it's at their home deck and they've been serving up pretty good footy recently. I'm a Gold Coast guy, and I'm going with Gold Coast. This one a little bit with my heart and not my head, because I really want them to play finals. It's going to be a close one. I'm going by 8 points. So it's going to be a smaller margin. It's going to be tight all day. But I just think the Suns have so much to play for. Essendon want to get a bit of respect. They should have been playing finals. And their last 3 out of 4 weeks have been pretty good and giving the Essendon supporters some hope. But I just want the Gold Coast Suns to keep pressuring in this run home, and hopefully they'll be able to get over the line. So me and the big boy, we're split over this one. I'm going Suns. He's going Essendon, but I reckon it could be a cracking game to finish off towards the end of Sunday. Rightio. Hawthorn versus the West Coast Eagles. Let's have a look at the Hawks. Jai Sarong, Kyle Hardigan, Will Day, and this is a 1:10 p.m. game at the MCG. No one out at this stage. Jai Sarong playing his first game for the Hawks. Good luck, young fella, to you. In for the Eagles, Alex Witherden, Callum Jamison, Jackson Nelson, Jai Cully, Jason Crunchy Cripps, and Xavier O'Neill. All in. Jack Petrocelli out injured. Nick Natanui just got back in, is injured, and Willie Rioli, for personal reasons, is out. Simply going with Hawthorn. It's away. No knick-knack. Will not be able to give the paddy whack and drill it down your throat, so it's going to make it hard for them to be out of getting it out of the middle. I just like what Hawthorn have been doing over the last number of weeks. They played great footy last week. They're going to build on that this week as well too, and I think the Hawks are going to win this by around about 4.5 goals. J-Dog is going with the Eagles by 3. Geez, we're really split this week. Normally we're pretty synced up, but this week we're totally splitting it. Like I said, Hawthorn don't really have anything to play for except pride. I think West Coast have been through way too much, and they're going to probably teeter off a little bit towards the end of the season. But once again, stranger things have happened. All right, last game of the round, and this is a game, if I said that you were putting the second team against the 12th team, most people would turn this one off and go, not even going to worry about it. But the way that these two teams are playing do not represent their spots on the AFL ladder. And I'm talking about my team, the Melbourne Demons, versus Jamie's Port Adelaide. This is the David Rodan Plate. And we're talking about the D's bringing in Adam Tomlinson, Jake Melksham, Cade Chandler, Luke Dunstan, Sam Wiedemann, Trent Rivers. No outs at this stage, except for Clayton Oliver, who's injured with his thumb. He'll miss a week. Harrison Petty, a big loss at centre half back, health and safety protocol. And he played in his first loss after 18 games. Now he's going to be omitted for the first time in his career. Jake Bowie has been left out, which doesn't come as a surprise over what's happened over the last few weeks. In for Port Adelaide, Mr. Stiffy, Riley Boner is in. Stephen Motlop, Trent McKenzie, Xavier Dersma. Hopefully he brings his archery set. Jack McEntry is in. This is an 8-point game. Simply this one. D's win. They potentially stay in a top 2 position. They need to win these games to lock in that top 4. They have got a massively hard run, and they don't want to rely on other teams losing when their fate is in their hands. Port Adelaide, they lost their first 5, but they are flying home to the end of the season. Well, they have got the wind in their sails. They potentially still could make finals, not top 4, but to get back from finals from that far back, I'll tell you what, would be a massive show. Now, this one is at Traeger Park in the Northern Territory, so it is at nobody's home ground. Port, though, have got the record over the D's at Traeger Park, which I think is 3-0. We're putting all that aside. I'm going with the D's. They have to win. It's as simple as that. It's going to be tough with 3 premiership players out, especially Oliver and Petty. But I think with Rivers coming back in, Dunstan in the middle will cover those 2 off. And then you're probably going with Adam Tomlinson down forward, down back to take up their big. I'm going by the D's. This is going to be a close one. I'm going less than a goal. But the J-Dog, he's really decided to throw this one at me. He's going Port by 76 points. We saw what happened earlier in the season when the D's held them to literally no goals, almost up to 3/4 time. It's going to be completely different from that. And I think the D's will win, but J-Dog thinks that his mob are going to get over in the David Rodan Plate. So there you go, listeners. There's our tips. We're completely split this weekend, and that just means it's going to be a cracking round of football. Put those in your footy tips. You might win us, you might love us, you might hate us. It doesn't really matter. As long as your team wins, that's the main thing. I'll be back on Tuesday. J-Dog, fingers crossed, will be back on Tuesday for Lace Out. Listeners, we've got 6 rounds of footy to go. Enjoy each and every one of them, because for 10 of the teams, that's it. So hopefully if your team's in the top 8, you've got a little bit more. And if you're out, just enjoy what your team's doing, because you're going to be having 6 months off. I'm Peps. Have a great evening. And like I said, hope your team wins, and that's tipped out. And that's how you want your footy tips.